Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts LeeSilber and Ellen Goodwin.
Welcome to another episode of the Faster, Easier, Better show. I'm your co-host, Ellen Goodwin, along with my co-host.
Hi, it's LeeSilber.
Wow.
Can you tell I was smiling when I
Yes,
was speaking?
I could see that.
You know,
Why were you doing that?
Well, when you work at home, a
Uh-huh.
lot of times you're communicating in ways that you, with coworkers and your boss and even clients, that you would have seen them. You go to their office, you see them in the water cooler, in the break room, or they come into your office. But now we're communicating without facial, cues.
Oh, sure.
So for me, I put a mirror, and it's right where I'm on the phone or where I'm working, because it reminds me, your inflection. Wayne is great about this, because Wayne and I have done voiceover work, and he's like, smile, because it changes your tone.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to sound upbeat, positive, but not like you're on drugs, then this is the cue: is seeing yourself and making sure you have the facial expression that matches what you're trying to say, and mostly it's a smile.
I would add one more thing to
Yeah,
that.
go
I would
ahead.
add stand up. Stand
good one.
up
I
and
like that,
smile,
yeah.
because your energy is different when you stand up than when you sit down. It's totally different. When I do Facebook Lives, I rarely sit down to do them, just because the energy is totally different if you're standing up. We're standing up. I think it would be totally different if we're doing the podcast sitting.
We're not.
We're not.
No.
We're standing up.
We've never sat down for this.
No.
As much as
So,
I'd like to.
you know what else I think is, when you work at home, there is that sort of thing where, like, oh my gosh, I have to, all day do all this and be so focused in. But I would say add in one of your favorite things. And whether that is, just getting out and taking walks. People are still, where we are, mowing the lawn. Like the smell of freshly mowed grass, one of my favorite things.
Great for the respiratory diseases.
Oh, yeah, that's sure.
Just kidding.
But no, figure out, and maybe your favorite thing is to read for 15 minutes. I mean, just find a way to keep your spirits up, and by doing one of your favorite things that you can still do.
Totally agree with that. That's awesome. No, I'm just thinking.
I know, but yeah. Are you thinking of one of your
I've been thinking
favorite?
about these things a lot lately, and trying to think of what's different from the work and from the home. A lot of times in your office, you'll put up reminders of your past successes. Maybe your diploma, degree, some certification, an award is all around you to remind you, I don't suck. I deserve to be paid well. But at home, maybe you don't have those same things. So
Right.
maybe your screensaver could be something that reminds you of how awesome you are. Or maybe you just put a couple of items within view that remind you, I got this.
Right.
I'm great at what I do. People need me. They like me. All right, maybe I'm going too far.
No, but imposter syndrome is something that we can easily fall into, especially when you don't have that outside affirmation. You don't have the coworkers with you right now.
Yeah, good point.
I would say another thing is now you don't have any boundaries.
Mm.
You don't have a boundary between work and home. And so all of a sudden,
Mhm.
you've got all of these things that you need to do. And I know you have a thing to go with that, but I think really important, it's not your to-do list, but it's a master list, because things are going to come up as you're working and you're thinking, oh, I should do this, I should do that. Rather than letting that swirl around in your head and stop you from thinking other things, just put it on a master list, just like a running master list. And then you go ahead. Now, this is just an ongoing master list. It's not a daily
No,
one.
that was in my notes. We're thinking alike.
Awesome.
Because, first of all, I'd say, like, the little things that bug you, fix them.
Mhm.
Fix them. So they're not, every time you walk by it, it doesn't, I got to put that light switch cover back on. Like, it takes a minute. Just do those little things.
Are
But
you
also,
speaking from...
no, actually, I don't have that issue, but just the first thing that popped into my head. Something simple and easy
Yeah.
that would take a minute to fix, but would save you minutes later from not looking at it and going, ugh. And
right.
then having a notepad, like you said, a master list, as you think, I got to remember to clean that or whatever. Instead of going to do it, write it down and then use it as a reward, which sounds so weird. But trust me, as someone who's worked at home for a long time, things that you normally hate to do are going to seem enticing.
Right.
And
Instead of doing a work, instead of doing a work
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Because they're easier sometimes.
Yeah.
Work
and-
stuff is hard. Cleaning a sink, depends, is easier.
No, again, we go back to the whole idea that right now our brain is seeking the easy and the comfortable, because everything is uncomfortable. So yeah, I like that. And that list of, hey, and it goes with, one of the things I always like to do, I've been doing when I'm writing is I work for 10 minutes and then I take a 2-minute break and then work for 10 minutes. And that 2 minutes, sometimes that's all it takes to go and clean the sink. And that's a little dopamine hit. Like, oh, I've
I know.
accomplished something. Boom.
So agree with that. And sometimes the best thing to do is to put your stuff on your desk or on your chair, whatever. The first three things that you need to do, because
Mhm.
you're going to be interrupted. You're at home. You're going to be distracted. You're at
Yes.
home. It's just going to happen. Be aware of that. And say, I'm going to try and get these three things done, and put the related stuff for them. Either it's on your desktop of your computer, it's on your desktop, it's on your chair. Somehow you come across it first, because by the time it gets to lunch, if you don't get it done by then, there's a good chance you won't. Depends. Some people are great in the afternoon, and
Right.
now we can work in the evenings. That's the beauty of working from home. It doesn't have to be 9 to 5. It can be, 9 to 11, take a couple hours, and work in the afternoon, and then make up that time later when there's less distractions. Kids are asleep, nothing good's on TV. Then, although now
Right.
it doesn't matter. Who
No.
watches TV live?
So I've got one more thing that's just kind of ties in with that. And that is when you go away from your computer, whether it's at the end of the day or your desk, it doesn't have to be your computer. Take a sticky note and write the first 3 things you're going to do
Once again, right on
when
the same wavelength.
when you get back to your desk, so that you don't have that moment where you sit and go, what was I going to do? And these don't
Yeah.
have to be the 3 big things like you were talking about. They could be 3 small things, but they are going to be the on-ramp to getting back to work.
We should continue this because I got
Yeah,
a lot
let's do
more.
that.
But let me just add one more. That's kind of the opposite of that, I guess, sort of. Is like at work sometimes we have rituals.
Yeah.
Work, and I know I'm gonna hang my coat. I'm gonna blah 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 the gossip, and then I'm gonna get a little snack, whatever. Having rituals at home, knowing how long they take, and starting them a little earlier so that you could start on time. You have to still show up on time based on some sort of they're checking in on you, whatever. Uh, still have some rituals. So we get those ducks in a row, things done, because sometimes we just need a couple easy wins to start the day.
Absolutely.
So make them super easy, super fast, and get them done as quickly as possible, and then move on to the more important stuff.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this episode up, but we're going to come back with it again next week. Working from home, it's a whole new world for a lot of you. We're here to help. We've been doing it for a long time. So join us next week for another episode of the Faster, Easier, Better Show.